and welcome back to our channel. Today, I want to share a story that has touched hearts for generations. It's a tale of hope, dreams, and the harsh realities of a world that can sometimes be cold and indifferent. This is the story of the Little Match Girl. Our story begins on the coldest night of the year. New Year's Eve. Snow fell heavily on the city streets, blanketing everything in a quiet layer of white. Through the biting wind, a small, barefoot girl wandered alone. She had no hat, no coat, and her tiny feet were red and blue from the cold. Earlier that day, she had been wearing her mother's slippers, but they were far too big. One was lost as she scrambled to avoid a speeding carriage, and the other was snatched away by a boy who ran off, laughing that he'd use it as a cradle for his own child someday. So now, she walked with nothing to protect her from the frozen ground. In her worn-out apron, she carried a bundle of all day long, she had tried to sell them, calling out to passers-by, "Machas! Who will buy my match?" But no one had bought a single one. Not a single coin had she earned to take home. She was desperately hungry and shivering, a picture of sorrow in the bustling, festive city. She peered through the windows of the grand houses she passed. Inside, tables were laden with magnificent feasts. The delicious smell of roast goose wafted out into the street, torturing her with the thought of warmth and food. The lights from the windows cast a warm golden glow on the snow, but for the little girl, there was only darkness and cold. She knew she couldn't go home. Her father would surely be angry that she hadn't sold any Besides, her own home was hardly warmer. It was just an attic room where the wind whistled through the large gaps in the roof, even though they had stuffed them with straw and rags. Her hands were almost numb with cold.
Oh, she thought. Perhaps a single match could warm them.
She hesitated for a moment, then carefully pulled one from her bundle, striking it against the wall. It flared to life with a brilliant, warm flame. It felt wonderful. She cupped her hands around it, and as she did, a strange thing happened. It seemed to her that she was sitting in front of a great iron stove with polished brass knobs. The fire burned so beautifully, giving off a blissful heat. She stretched out her feet to warm them too, but just as the warmth seeped into her bones, the flame went out.
The stove vanished, and she was left sitting with only the burnt end of a match in her hand.
The cold rushing back in, more biting than before. She needed to feel that warmth again. She struck another match. This time, the light on the wall became transparent, like a veil. She could see right into a room where a dining table was covered with a snow-white cloth. On it was a splendid dinner set, and steaming in the center was a magnificent roast goose, stuffed with apples and dried plums. Then, an even more amazing thing happened. The goose hopped down from the dish, waddled across the floor with the carving knife, and fork still in its back, and came straight towards her. But then, the match went out, and all she could see was the thick, cold wall of the house. She lit a third match. Instantly, she found herself sitting under the most beautiful Christmas tree she had ever seen. It was even larger and more decorated than the one she had glimpsed through the glass doors of a rich merchant's house. Thousands of candles flickered on its green branches, and colorful pictures, like the ones she'd seen in shop windows, looked down at her. She reached out her hands toward them, and the match went out. But the Christmas lights seemed to rise higher and higher until they became the stars in the night sky.
One of the stars fell, leaving a long, fiery trail.
"Someone is dying," the little girl whispered to herself. Her dear old grandmother, the only person who had ever loved her and who was now gone, had once told her that when a star falls, a soul is going up to be with God. She struck another match against the wall. In the bright glow, she saw her grandmother standing before her, looking so kind and loving. "Grandmother!" cried the little girl. "Oh, take me with you. I know you will disappear when the match goes out, just like the warm stove, the delicious goose, and the beautiful Christmas tree." Desperate not to lose her, she quickly struck the whole rest of the bundle of money. She wanted to keep her grandmother with her for as long as possible.
The matches blazed with a light brighter than noon.
Her grandmother had never looked so beautiful or so grand. She smiled, opened her arms, and lifted the little girl up. Together, they flew in brightness and joy, high above the earth, to a place where there was no cold, no hunger, and no fear. They were with God. But in the cold dawn of New Year's Day, a small figure was found leaning against the wall between two houses. Her cheeks were rosy, and she had a smile on her lips. She was frozen, dead on the last evening of the old year. The morning sun rose on the little girl, still holding the matches, a bundle of which was almost completely burnt. She tried to warm herself, people said. No one imagined the beautiful things she had seen, or the glory in which she had entered the new year with her beloved grandmother. This story, though sad, reminds us of the power of hope and the importance of compassion. It's a call to look out for one another, especially when the world feels cold. Thank you for listening with me today. If this story touched you, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more stories that make us think and feel. Take care, and we'll see you next time.